Hello, friends. I'm Reverend Kyra. Delighted to be with you to talk about love the one you're with. This is a powerful week as we're preparing for our very first Interfaith Council of Greater Clear Lake Area event called the Golden Rule. We're really going to look at the Golden Rule from many different faith traditions. We can consider both the secular and the religious, and every faith tradition has some version of the Golden Rule. And we all know it's a great way to live our lives. And it's especially potent and powerful in my life because it's something that I've studied and worked with and had many friends that have promoted the Golden Rule through the years with all of my different interfaith work. And it is an honor and privilege to bring this forth now and to invite it at a deeper level in our own soul. And we're going to look at this on our Sunday service as well in our community. You're certainly welcome to come to our Interfaith Golden Rule event. It's for folks everywhere. Welcome to the League City Civic Center at 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday. And we'll be looking at that. In the meantime, this Sunday at our service, we're going to share Love the One You're With. What is it to really move into a living practice of loving others in the moment? You know, these are trying times. The kind of energy and the kind of way of moving through this time of challenge and change and shifting that's happening in the world, and really wanting to see the world fulfill its greatest self, see ourselves fulfill our greatest purpose, and live in alignment with something that we know is more true to true north in our own being. Where is that in you? Where is that joy and the celebration and the experience that I'm on fire with passion for a life that feels meaningful and significant and that has an opportunity to make a difference to others? How is it we transform this world to be the living wonder, the heaven on earth that it's meant to be? We're on a planet that is truly a heavenly place, and yet we're at odds with one another. We've created a paradigm where we're in resistance to each other and finding what's wrong or finding what we feel needs to be changed rather than being in an acceptance and allowance and an honoring and a celebrating and fine-tuning our own awe and wonder to live into a golden rule or beyond that into a platinum rule, you know, where empathy and compassion and fulfillment of seeing the uniqueness in each individual and becoming curious and finding the magnificence in life. How do we treat others in our mind? Not in our thought, not just out in the world, but in our thoughts, in our feelings, in our responses. You know, this week I had a moment where I got triggered by something and went to a place that I'm not very proud of. I had some energy boil up, and I realized that what was really going on is my own sense of being at odds with some things and having some unresolved thoughts and feelings that need to be brought to the surface to get them resolved, to deal with them directly rather than having subterranean or subversive effects. That oftentimes what it appears to be the trigger isn't actually the trigger, it's something else, but I'm letting that get expressed, that energy be released in this situation. And yet, how does that play into my loving the one I'm with? Let me begin with loving myself. Loving the one I'm with my own divine energy and light. And where have resistance to who I am and how I'm being in the world? And then how do I project that onto others? Because many times what we do is we project onto another that they're somehow not fulfilling our needs or they're not showing up like they should. The should is a challenge, isn't it? So when we really look at, do I live my values? Am I in alignment with this higher rule of life, the golden rule that we all would agree is a valuable way to live? But where am I actually in alignment? And where do I allow my own opinions or thoughts or preconceived ideas to get in the way? Many times we generalize or we have a preconceived idea or an assumption, and we become righteous. We become self-righteous, or we become spiritually righteous. And one of the things that we're learning is, how do I move beyond those experiences and become open and receptive to what another is presenting, and not generalize and categorize a group or a person or a situation even, or a particular way of being, and instead become curious, allow it to have its place, and then get clear for ourselves. How am I going to be more loving? How am I going to show up more present and in a place of serving? I have a sign on one of my altars that says, love all, serve all. And yet, how do I live into that? Do I really love all and serve all? Or am I more in service to those that seem to be in agreement with me, or that I think have the right way of showing up? We are all here in this human experience, bringing a divine presence. And we get to look at, how do I love each one in each moment? What is available to me when I go to a deeper place? And I live from the essence of love that loves all of its creation. See, the divine essence, the God essence, loves all of its creation. There is nothing to resist, only to learn and grow and experience. There's an experience here, that's all it is. So what if we learn to love the one we're with, beginning with ourselves, and then looking at every single person, every single situation as, what's here for me to love? What might I find when I look with awe and wonder at the world, and I live from a great compassion and empathy that treats others as I would want to be treated, that opens my heart and my being and lives from the fire and passion of my heart and soul, rather than the mind that wants to judge and reject or condemn. I invite us all to open ourselves. Notice what you're getting triggered by. How do I then respond to that? I think I have some apologies to make. And maybe all of us, whether it's apologies directly or it's an opportunity to even apologize to ourselves, our body temple, for how we've condemned it, to the ways that we've rejected aspects of the divine. There is nothing that exists that isn't part of God consciousness. Am I really willing to love that and be the love, be the joy, be the peace, be the harmony in the midst of every circumstance? It's a challenge, it's an opportunity, and it's a gift to be that presence that transforms our world by who we're being. May you find that inner peace, that inner harmony, that inner joy. Come celebrate with us this Sunday at Unity Bay Area, Houston, 1911 Highway 3 South, or on our Facebook live stream at Unity Bay Area, Houston. Please also come join us for our Interfaith event at the League City Civic Center at 2 p.m. on Sunday, November 10th. I'll be celebrating my mother's birthday for wherever she is in the divine wonders of the non-world, of the non-physical world. We know we'll be celebrating her. Got to celebrate my stepmother last Sunday, my mother this Sunday. So I'm celebrating that divine mother energy. How are we going to nurture true, loving presence? Let's do that this week. And come join us, 10:30 a.m., live stream or live. We look forward to hearing your stories of how you're living the golden rule and loving the one you're with. God bless you, friends. Have a great, great week.